Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Lushin, and this is a week one review for Safety 783 Environmental and Safety Management. Sorry with that stall there. I had some issues with my recording equipment. But so each week I'd like to do a review just based on what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, and it's meant to help you. And so with that, let's get to it. So, a real quick review of kind of what the whole first week was about. Uh, I tried to introduce and talk about the Industrial Revolution and how that changed how work was done, how it was designed, how it was managed, all of it. And it was through the implementation of organized work, and increased production that I think occupational safety and health was born. And then I had you read about Frederick Taylor, geez, and how his efforts increased productivity and was meant to provide motivation for the worker, but it's hazardous. It was hazardous what he was doing. And then we looked at Heinrich's work, and a bunch of other key pieces of old literature that, old, to most everybody, that I think kind of laid the foundation to what we think about safety today. And that's why I provided it to you. Another is that I started out as an OSHA inspector. That's how I started my career for 6.5 years. And I thought that by doing visual audits and enforcing standards, I was making things safer. But then I went to graduate school, started thinking critically, deeply about it, and realized, no, that's not all of it. That's a very slim part of it, and actually it doesn't do a lot. It has its place, but it alone will not make a workplace safe. And so that was kind of what I was trying to do, is to challenge everybody's beliefs. And we're going to keep doing that the whole class. I'm a statistics and data nerd for the most part. And so I do monitor everyone's performance just to see where everybody is, because it's important to me that, you've invested in yourself to pursue this degree, take my class. I want to give you your money's worth. So I'm going to make sure you guys are doing the work. And so each week I'll be looking at the average time, the median time, standard deviation, the max and the min. And that includes time on the Canvas site, the number of things you touch and look at, the number of posts you make, though this is skewed because of the icebreaker discussion as well. So the week one is a little bit off, the discussion posts and your assignment scores. I look at all that and I correlate those things, and I look for what might be leading to certain things. And sure, week one is a small sample, but already we're seeing that time seems to have the strongest influence. The more time people spent on the site. But, week one is an outlier always, because there is overall course content and then week one as well. As we go through, these numbers should really jump. Additionally, I looked at sort of the overall number of posts, because the number of posts as a class was low. We usually it would be nice to have anywhere from like 7 to 10 per student. And some of you are doing amazing. And also this is skewed by, it is icebreaker and the discussion. Also, I did separate the class in half this week. For everybody who engaged early in week one, I put you guys in a group. Everybody who engaged late, I put you in a different group. So hopefully you're all kind of hitting your groove at the same time. A couple things I want to talk about. Always try to identify at least 3 takeaways from each week. At least 3. Challenge yourself. What did I learn? What didn't I know before? Don't just look for things that agree with what you thought before. I don't want confirmatory. I want exploratory. For the discussion, in order to get 100 out of 100, you need to have 9 posts or more of substance and timeliness. So not one sitting, not hours before it's due, but throughout, over several days. And really get engaged. That's 100 out of 100. You get an 85 when you post 4 times with substance and timeliness, and you can go down to 70 or less if you have 2 or fewer posts, or you're posting within the last couple hours of Sunday. Because you're not really in a discussion then. It's almost like just an assignment. So challenge yourself. At the very latest, you guys should be getting on there Friday night, Saturday morning, and start posting and then talking to each other. Okay? That is very important to me. It is. And so we'll be monitoring this and sharing my results. Additionally, I can see who's been looking at what. So for week 1, we had a bunch of students who didn't read the assigned readings. Oh, not all these. Or watch the course intro videos. It showed. It did. Some of you didn't do all the work, and that resulted in lower scores. You got to read everything. You got to look at everything. Here's the assignments. Every week I'll have this language, kind of, except for I'll have different reflective thinking. So here, minimum expectation, 1 to 2 original posts, 2 to 3 response posts, and I showed you guys in the grading, due by Sunday night at midnight. So try to get on before that. It needs to be timely and of good quality, and if you do that, you'll get 85 out of 100. And I just told you what you could do to get more points. Don't simply agree. There is so much of that. I couldn't agree more. I agree 100%. I don't want you to agree with each other. I want you to challenge each other. I kind of let week 1 do its thing. I'm going to start refereeing and challenging some of the things you guys are saying, because it's too easy to go, oh, this is what it said. I want you guys to refer to the literature that I'm providing you and not doing a Google search, okay? I already had to call out one student for using a blog as defense. Don't do that. Don't do that. Use stuff that's been peer reviewed. And by the way, Professional Safety Journal is not peer reviewed. They have a editorial review board, but it is not peer reviewed. It's not refereed. I know, I used to be on it. So try not to agree with each other. Challenge each other. That's what I want to do. I'll be getting in there and playing around a little bit more myself. And if you're going to state an opinion, you better say it's your opinion. I'd rather you be, bringing up the literature you're reading in defense of things and relating it to things you've experienced, but don't let that be the end-all be-all. For assignments, make sure you've demonstrated that you've read or comprehended all the papers, and not just provide me with a few of the lines from the paper. I don't want that. That means you just looked at it and copied it off. What was your interpretation of the paper? What did you take away from it? How did it move you? How did it challenge you? That's what I want. That's what I want to read. And then when it gets to the reflective thinking, I need to have at minimum a half a page response or more, and I want you to refer to the readings in your responses. And so I wasn't clear on that before. I wanted to see how it would go naturally. I'm not yelling. I'm being supportive. You're like, he's yelling. No, I'm just passionate about this. I want you guys to do good. And so that's why it is the way it is. Here's the Module 2 readings. Make sure you're providing a summary of these. Now, I do provide my own summary review of these things, but you can be critical of these things as well. I'm trying to give you a wide range of. These were my favorites. I'm giving you about 1 out of 10 things that I had to read that really moved me. So this list is actually a lot long. If you look at the syllabus, you'll see how long it can be. But I want you to read these. It's not meant to be a read and memorize. It's how, what did you take away from it? How did it move you? How did it challenge you? What didn't make sense? That's what I want you to take away from these. That's the point of this class. Here's the discussion posts. Again, only answer one at a time. Don't put multiple answers in one post, and really challenge yourself. Think about it first, and then get on there and, this paper said this, and I don't understand it. Or, this paper said this, and I've done, X, Y, and Z, or just X and Y, and this is how it fit in, but, I learned something from it. That's what I want to see. That's what I want. Building off of previous experience and knowledge. More importantly, augmenting our knowledge. Next week, I'll do a full review of the pre-semester survey. Some people didn't respond to it. I don't know. You still can. It's opened if you haven't yet. I'm just going to break it down and just kind of show you what you all were saying, and that'll be interesting to talk about at the end too. So, what are the overall objectives of this course? And that is to challenge your current beliefs and practices. I can't state that enough. Don't assume you know anything. I came to grad school with 6.5 years of work experience, thought I knew stuff, and I was forced to question everything I thought I knew. What I was basically doing is I was being trained to be a scientist, a critical thinker. And that is what made me the professional I am today. Not that I had experienced different things, but that I reprogrammed my brain in many ways. I want you to challenge peers. Don't agree with everything. You can agree with some stuff, but I'd rather you give like a different perspective on it. I'm looking for those of you who are kind of stirring the pot, but don't be mean. Do it in a nice way. I don't want anybody crying, especially me. Think about how you can practice differently, and that's leading up to a change I'm making in the course. What I'll say about that is, and maybe this will resonate with some of you, there's this whole new movement of human organizational performance, safety 2.0, safety differently, psychological safety, things like that. And a friend of mine, the way he coined it is, if you wanted to study how to have a successful marriage, would you only focus on divorce? The thing is, in safety, that's kind of what we're doing. We want to improve things, but we're only focusing on the negatives. We should focus on the good stuff too, and understand how they relate. That's what I want you to that's sort of a bonus for this course. So, what's my expectation? Review and summarize the readings, videos, and web links. I think most of them are just readings and videos. Don't limit your responses. And I want it to be not this is what it said, but rather, I read it and this is what I took away from it. And that's really important to me. And your reflections need to be longer. They need to be specific to what the statement is asking. And I want you to really challenge yourself. That's what it's about. I will start holding office hours after spring break. It just, this spring break and the start of the course really kind of threw me a little bit. But we're going to do it on Wednesdays at 8 and Sundays at 8. That seemed to be the date and time that worked for at least 2/3 of you. I can set up a third or rearrange if you guys don't show up. But for now, that's what I'm going to go with, and I'll be sending out WebEx invites to all of you or posting it on Canvas. One of the two. We'll see which one works. It doesn't always work on Canvas. If you're interested and truly interested in learning more, I've been I've been having really great speakers come to my senior design class. I did a presentation on psychological safety. Brad Giles did cowboy ethics. Jill James and I and one of her colleagues did telling is not selling. And then just today, Jason Coons did 7 habits of highly effective EHS professionals. And I'm planning to have one on HOP and safety differently with Ron Gant and Jeffrey Delto, friends of mine. There's a lot of other ones I'm going to be doing too. And I'll send the invites if you guys are interested, and I try to record them as well, and I can provide it. It's just additional information. There's a lot of exciting things going on in the safety field, trying to get on top of it. Now, I've got a surprise for you. If you don't know me or haven't heard, for the last 15 months, I've been working as a safety manager in Madison during my limited discretionary time, more over the summer during breaks and things like that. But Research Products, the subsidiary is Aprilaire. I was their EHS manager for all of 2023. They recently hired a full-time person because I told them back in October, you need a full-time person. I can't do this. I'm too busy at campus. So I'm going to share with you kind of my year-end report, though I've got some newer stuff. I've done a lot of things over the last year, challenging myself, and I've learned a lot. So here are my KPIs and metrics. You can see I've got a set of leading indicators and a set of lagging indicators. The idea being is if we do more of the good stuff, we're hoping to reduce the bad stuff. And so because of my limited time, I really focused on getting out and talking to the workers, gaining their trust, being a person they can go to with questions, and then really dedicating my time to resolving and talking to them. And that is really what I did. So I really drove up these numbers of observations, concerns, and resolving things. And you can see here from 2022 to 2023, I had to go dig up this data. It wasn't published, but I was able to dig it up. I did make some big improvements in these areas. Oh, and then I started tracking at the end the ones that remained open. And this number right here, I think is already down below 50. We've really gotten a lot done in 2 more months. Safety training and JHAs and audits were kind of put on hold because of the things I had read when I was in grad school. I was like, I don't have time for that. I want to focus on these things and see what I can do. and to great success. So the year before me, they had 15 recordables. In my stead, we had 8. And so the goal was met. As far as days away, they had 10 the year before. I had 4. I was really working hard to get them to report things. And so I started coming up with ratios of observations to DART cases and the ratio of first aid, near miss, and report only to a recordable. In 2022, we're at a 16 to 1. I got it to 100 to 1. The goal is 30 to 1. I really worked hard on this. And then the ratio of things here is 6 to 1. I got it up to 13 to 1. We're going to try to get up to 15 to 1. In January, I was able to achieve a 16 to 1. The incidence rates, the year before me, it was 11.2. I got it down to 6. And the DART was 7.5. I got it down to 3. So far, we've had a few more than we should, but we know where they are. We know what's going on. And so we can actually start making decisions to resolve them. And I think that's the most important part. So instead of doing an OSHA 300 log, I do a monthly full review of all incidents. Here's a breakdown of the type of incidents. Here's the causal factors. So I constantly track. And then my summary isn't just, oh, what happened? Where did it happen? I talk about all kinds of things and what we did to resolve it. So my boss can report this to the VP. Here are my OSHA recordables from 2018 to 2024. Again, I had a very good year last year, better than the year before. This year started a little bit slow, but there's plenty of time to catch up. And then you can kind of see here's the, over time, the OSHA recordable rates. I hate these things. I did this every month just to show them there's no value in it. And here's the thing. So I was doing a lot to increase concerns and observation reports, but the problem is I wasn't able to bring that high list down. You see, in September, I had 140 items on the to-do list. Well, I was able to get it down to just over 100 in January. And again, now it's below 50 because the new guy has been doing a great job of attacking that stuff. So that's one thing he can focus on, but I got to get him out on the floor more. When I go out on the floor to walk around, I have no fewer than 3 to 4 people pull me aside, ask me a question, or point something out. That is power. That's how you fix things. When workers will stop what they're doing or call you over to ask a question, point something out, or say, hey, I got this idea. That is the secret to my success. So here's some of the projects that we're going to try to get done in 2024. First, I would like to get the training system up and running. I saved the company a tremendous amount of money by doing very informal, short, on-the-fly safety training throughout the year. And I updated the new employee orientation and the temp worker training, but it needs a little bit more work. It's made it a long way, but it needs a little bit more. We're going to bring down the observations while we're still collecting them. Hoping to get it below 30 from a month to month and still pursuing, 30 plus new reports per month. We need to rebuild the shared drive and the safety pages. I just didn't have time. I had to make do with what was given to me, and I just was unable to carve out any time to get that kind of stuff done. And I'm helping the new guy do it right now before I completely sever. I'll be helping them with a corporate level program and policies that then can be customized to each site. So as they move forward, they have something to base everything off of versus the programs that the previous guy stole from his old employer. That's what's there. And then update, data collect, and analyze. So I'm working on that too. I currently have my senior design class working on some real projects, and they are doing awesome. I almost teared up today when I was talking about it in class. Environmental management plan, heat stress cooling plan, powered industrial truck training, hearing conservation, and HAZCOM. And they are doing awesome. They're doing awesome. I'm so proud of them. Here is my SMART goals relating to the strategic goals of the company. I wrote these, and we've got some measurable stuff here. So far we haven't been able to meet these because I'm training in the new guy, and it's taking a while. But I would say I'm hoping by May, he's on top of all these, and he can report these out and talk about progress each monthly report out. So that is all I wanted to cover. This is a lot longer than before because I wanted to kind of talk about things I've been doing, the extra opportunities that are afforded to you. I have so much more to tell you of things that have been going on. I have been very, very lucky or blessed or something. over the last year. And so I've got a lot to share with you, a lot of experiences, a lot of projects, all that stuff. And I think it's going to be in week 4 that I get to share a lot of the things I've done. Just amazing stuff. So with that, let me know if you have questions, but I hope this helped, kind of clarify what I expect each week, in your assignments and the discussion board. And I hope to see a lot of you. I don't like to call it an office hour. It's a discussion, and we can talk about anything. We can talk about the stuff I just covered. But I hope you guys have a great week. And again, email me if you have questions or want to meet with me. All right, take care.